Welcome back to Reliable Prepper. If you've been with us for a while, you know that preparation isn't just about stockpiling supplies, it's about strategy, foresight, and making sure that when the world turns upside down, you and your loved ones are as safe as possible. Today we're going to tackle one of the most critical aspects of survival during an SHTF scenario: how to maintain your security without attracting unwanted attention. Whether it's a situation of war, civil unrest, or a total societal collapse, staying under the radar while safeguarding your resources is not just smart, it's essential. In this video, we'll cover a range of actionable strategies, from keeping your home dark and quiet to managing your vehicle and even concealing your water supply. These aren't just tips, they're lifelines that could make all the difference when everything else is falling apart. But remember, every situation is different, and you need to adapt these strategies to your specific circumstances. Don't be afraid to get creative and think outside the box. Your safety could depend on it. Before we dive into the details, I want to remind you to follow Reliable Prepper on Facebook. That's where you'll find even more content, updates, and a community of like-minded individuals who are all focused on staying prepared for whatever comes our way. We're stronger together, so don't miss out on the extra tips and discussions we share there. Now, let's get into the strategies that will help you keep a low profile and stay safe when the world is anything but. One of the first things you need to consider when bugging in is how visible your home is to the outside world. During a crisis, power outages are common, and if your house is the only one on the block with lights on, that's a huge red flag. Any light escaping your home can signal to others that you have power, resources, or simply that you're home, none of which you want to advertise. So how do you manage this? First and foremost, blackout curtains are a must. These curtains are designed to block out any light from escaping your windows. Make sure they're properly installed and cover the entire window without any gaps. If blackout curtains aren't an option, you can improvise with thick blankets or layers of dark fabric. The key here is to ensure that no light can seep through. But curtains alone might not be enough. You also need to think about light traps. These are areas in your home where light can accidentally escape, like under doors or through small cracks in walls. To prevent this, use draft stoppers or roll-up towels and place them at the bottom of doors. For windows, consider adding an extra layer of defense by taping dark-colored plastic sheets or garbage bags over them. Another important aspect is controlling your indoor lighting. Use low-wattage LED lights that emit a dim glow rather than bright lights. Red or blue LEDs are particularly useful because they provide enough light to see by without being as easily visible from outside. Additionally, these colors are less likely to damage your night vision, which can be crucial in a survival situation. And remember, anytime you need to go outside at night, use minimal lighting. A small flashlight with a red lens or a dim headlamp will help you see without making you a target. Keep your movements quiet and swift, and avoid shining lights directly at neighboring properties. Now let's talk about another key aspect of bugging in that often gets overlooked: heat and temperature control. In colder climates, staying warm without drawing attention can be a real challenge, especially if others are struggling to stay warm. On the other hand, in hotter climates, staying cool and conserving energy is equally critical. In cold weather, thermal curtains or blankets are your best friends. They help retain heat inside your home and prevent it from escaping through the windows. Consider insulating your walls and floors as much as possible to keep the cold out and the warmth in. If you have a wood stove or fireplace, be mindful of the smoke that can be a visible indicator of your presence. One way to minimize this is by using a rocket stove or an indoor wood stove with a properly vented chimney that produces minimal smoke. In hot climates, it's all about keeping cool without using loud or energy-intensive cooling systems. Reflective window coverings can help deflect sunlight and reduce indoor temperatures. Use fans powered by solar panels or battery backups, but position them away from windows to prevent noise from escaping. If possible, create shaded areas around your home using tarps or other materials to block direct sunlight, which can significantly reduce the temperature indoors. Maintaining a stable indoor temperature is crucial for both comfort and survival, but it's important to do so in a way that doesn't signal to others that you're better off than they are. Noise is another major giveaway in a survival situation. In the silence that often follows a major disaster, even small sounds can travel far. You don't want to be the house that's broadcasting its presence with loud conversations, the hum of a generator, or the clatter of cookware. One of the most effective ways to minimize noise is by using quiet power sources. Solar panels and wind turbines are excellent alternatives to noisy generators. If you must use a generator, build a soundproof enclosure around it. This can be done with materials like mass-loaded vinyl, acoustic panels, or even dense soil-filled boxes to dampen the sound. Position the generator as far from living areas as possible, preferably in a garage or a shed, and always run it during the day when ambient noise levels are higher. Inside your home, soundproofing is key. Heavy drapes, carpets, and foam insulation can help absorb sound and prevent it from escaping. Seal gaps around windows and doors with weather stripping to stop noise from leaking out. If you're in an apartment or a house with thin walls, consider rearranging furniture to create barriers, like placing bookshelves against walls to muffle sound. When it comes to communication, use low-tech methods. Hand signals or written notes can be invaluable for silent communication. If you need to talk, keep your voice low and use hushed tones. If radios or other electronic devices are part of your communication strategy, ensure the volume is low and use earpieces to avoid broadcasting sound to anyone nearby. Practice noise discipline regularly with your family or group. Conduct drills where everyone must move silently and perform tasks with minimal noise. This will help everyone develop the habit of quiet operation, which can be crucial in maintaining your stealth. Let's not forget about vehicles. In a bug-in situation, you might think that your car is less of a concern, but vehicles can attract a lot of attention if not handled properly. A parked vehicle that's well maintained and full of fuel can be a tempting target for those in need. First, consider where you park your vehicle. Ideally, it should be hidden from view, inside a garage or behind a fence. If that's not possible, use camouflage tarps that blend with your surroundings to cover the vehicle. These tarps not only hide the vehicle, but also help protect it from the elements. Next, you might want to think about modifying your vehicle to reduce noise and visibility if you absolutely need to use it. This can include adding mufflers to quiet the engine or installing blackout lights that limit the light visible from the outside. Also, consider keeping your vehicle as inconspicuous as possible. Remove any stickers, decals, or flashy elements that might make it stand out. Fuel storage is another critical aspect. Keep fuel stored securely in hidden locations, and consider using siphon-proof gas caps to deter theft. But remember, only use your vehicle when absolutely necessary, as the sound of an engine running can carry far in a quiet, tense environment. In a crisis where food is scarce, the smell of cooking can be as much of a giveaway as light or sound. The scent of a hot meal can travel far and draw unwanted attention to your home, especially from those who are desperate and hungry. To minimize this risk, consider using indoor cooking methods that don't produce strong odors. Solar ovens are a great option because they don't require fuel and produce minimal scent. If you're using a stove, opt for electric induction cooktops powered by solar panels. These are efficient and don't emit the smoke or smells that come from burning wood or gas. Ventilation is another critical factor. When cooking indoors, ensure that your kitchen is well ventilated, but not in a way that allows smells to escape to the outside. You can create makeshift ventilation systems with fans and filters that trap odors before they reach the exterior. For example, using a wet cloth over a ventilation outlet can help capture and reduce the spread of cooking smells. Proper food storage is also essential. Store your food in airtight containers to prevent the release of odors. Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers are particularly effective for long-term storage, as they seal in both freshness and smell. If you're growing or harvesting food, be mindful of where and how you store it. Outside gardens or even indoor grow setups can attract attention if not managed properly. Waste disposal plays a big role in managing smells as well. Bury organic waste away from your living area and ensure it is sealed in plastic bags or containers before disposal. If you can't bury waste, consider using a composting method that traps odors. A sealed compost bin or using enzyme-based composting additives can help break down organic material without releasing strong smells. And remember, if you're cooking outdoors or using a grill, be extra cautious. Avoid cooking large, aromatic meals that could attract attention. Stick to small, simple meals that don't produce strong smells, and always be aware of wind direction. It can carry scents much farther than you might expect. Water is one of the most critical resources during an SHTF scenario, but openly managing water can attract unwanted attention. People will quickly notice if you're the only one in the neighborhood with a consistent water supply, so it's essential to secure and conceal your water resources. First, consider using underground cisterns or buried water tanks. These storage methods keep your water supply hidden from view. Rainwater harvesting systems are also invaluable, but you should design them to blend in with your home's architecture. For instance, use camouflage gutters and storage barrels that match the color and material of your home to avoid detection. When it comes to water purification, opt for methods that don't require large, visible equipment. Chemical purification using iodine tablets or portable water filters can be done discreetly without drawing attention. If you're using more visible methods like boiling, do so indoors to avoid others seeing steam or smoke. Remember, water is heavy and difficult to move, so it's vital to store it close to where it will be used. But make sure your storage is out of sight and away from windows or common areas where others might notice it. Fortifying your home is a necessity during an SHTF scenario, but doing so in a way that doesn't scream "I'm prepared" is equally important. Visible fortifications can draw attention and signal to others that you have resources worth protecting. Start with subtle reinforcements. Reinforce your doors and windows with security film. This is a nearly invisible layer that makes glass shatter resistant. You can also use internal braces or bars that can be installed and removed quickly to reinforce doors without altering their external appearance. Consider camouflaging your preparedness efforts. For example, your garden could be designed to look like wild growth, blending in with the natural environment instead of appearing cultivated. Supplies should be stored in places that aren't immediately visible, inside false walls, underground caches, or in attic spaces. This way, even if someone does manage to get inside your home, they won't easily find your most valuable supplies. Use strategic landscaping to your advantage. Plant thorny bushes like roses or hawthorns near windows and entry points. Not only do they act as natural barriers, but they also blend in with the environment and won't raise suspicions. Additionally, building berms or raised garden beds with hidden fortifications like rebar or sharp objects can provide an extra layer of security without being obvious. Another aspect of subtle fortification is using decoys. Set up visible deterrents that suggest you might not be as prepared as you are. For instance, create a decoy stash of basic supplies in an easily accessible location, while your main stockpile is hidden elsewhere. This can mislead potential looters into thinking they've found your entire supply, leaving your real stockpile untouched. Finally, reflectivity is your friend. Reflective window coverings prevent people from seeing inside your home during the day, but look like normal windows from the outside. This allows you to monitor outside activity without revealing what's inside. One of the most important principles in maintaining security during an SHTF scenario is operational security, or OPSEC. This involves keeping your plans, resources, and capabilities as secret as possible to avoid becoming a target. Start by limiting the number of people who know about your preparedness efforts. The more people who are aware of your resources, the greater the chance that information could leak out, intentionally or unintentionally. Discuss your plans only with those you trust implicitly, and even then, be cautious about how much you share. When interacting with neighbors or anyone outside your immediate circle, practice controlled communication. Develop a code language or set of signals for discussing sensitive information within your group. For example, you might use specific phrases or hand signals that only your group understands. If you need to communicate with someone outside the group, be vague and avoid revealing anything that could indicate your level of preparedness. Deception can also be a useful tool in maintaining OPSEC. If someone approaches you asking for help or resources, it might be necessary to downplay your situation. For instance, you could keep a decoy stash of supplies that you're willing to share, making it seem like you're in the same situation as everyone else. This can help deflect suspicion and prevent others from targeting you for what you have. Avoid advertising your preparedness efforts at all costs. This means not stockpiling visible items like firewood or water barrels in plain sight, not boasting about your preparations on social media or in casual conversations, and not displaying any signs that could indicate you're more prepared than others. Finally, create a false narrative if necessary. If someone starts asking too many questions, you might need to create a story that downplays your preparedness. For example, you might mention that you've also struggled with getting supplies or that you're worried about how you'll get by, even if that's not the case. In any survival situation, maintaining security without attracting attention is a delicate balance. It requires careful planning, discipline, and a strong understanding of your environment. By implementing these strategies, reducing light exposure, controlling heat and temperature, minimizing noise, concealing your vehicle, managing smells, securing water supplies, fortifying your home subtly, and maintaining strict OPSEC, you can protect your resources and keep your family safe while staying under the radar. Remember, every situation is different, and you need to adapt these strategies to your specific circumstances. Don't be afraid to get creative and think outside the box. Your safety could depend on it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to follow Reliable Prepper on Facebook. We share additional content, tips, and updates that you won't find anywhere else. Join our community and stay prepared for whatever comes your way. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay prepared, and stay hidden.